Hi and welcome to the first video of 2024 for Moara Crochet. In this vlog I'm going to be showing you lots of the projects which I managed to finish before 2023. So let's get started. As you can see, I finished my crochet vest which I showed you in the last video, and I purposely actually bought this blouse to go with this vest. It's a very flouncy one and flowy, so I'm really pleased how well this goes together. I have used a very fine yarn, so it resulted in a very lightweight vest, which I'm really pleased with because it's a nice layering piece and it adds to my more sustainable wardrobe, which is all me made. The only thing that is missing from this vest is a few buttons, but I'm not sure if I'm actually going to put these on. I actually did make the buttonholes because I don't think I'm ever going to actually button this. So I'm really pleased with how this came out, and I'll put in a little video of how it looks full length. So I managed to finish this project. Also, before the end of the year, I managed to finish my knitted jumper, which I showed you in the last video. And I added some sleeves. So here she is. I'll get that in the screen. So here's the jumper, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. The only little drawbacks I found was that maybe I made a size too big, but I did follow the gauge exactly, blocking and everything, but I find that the neck is a little bit too wide for me, and the overall size is maybe just a little bit too big for me, but it's a lesson learned, and it's a lovely jumper which will be worn a lot during the winter, but I've learned a few new things for my next project, which will be in the future. So this is my finished jumper. As I said in the previous video, Pod is on holiday at the moment. We're on the school holidays, so we have been doing a lot of crafts, and one of the things I'm also trying to do is incorporate sustainable crafts, using crafts from nature, finding things which you don't have to buy, things you can pick up off when you're foraging. And one of the things we did collect during the Christmas period was a lot of pine cones and pine branches, and we used these pine branches to make our Christmas wreaths, but we also had a few left over. So I did some research online thinking, what can we make with some pine branches? And I found some tutorials on how to make some pine brushes, little pine brushes, which are actually very useful. Now, two things I like is making things from leftover materials or from nature, and which have a purpose. I don't like making for making's sake unless it has a reason. So I seen these pine brushes and I thought they will be really, really useful for us in our home because we have a wood burner. And if you have a wood burner, you know how annoying it is when you have to clean it and you can't get in with a normal brush. So I thought that maybe this would solve the problem this year. So we picked off all the pine needles of the branches, which was actually quite easily. They pull apart very easily, and we took them all out and we dried them on a screen in the sun, and every day we turned them over, so they became a lovely nutty brown color, and the smell was divine. And once they were all dry, we decided on some patterns. So here is my first brush, which we made, and it's just a basic size, and it's just It's about 20 centimeters in size, so we can get in to our wood burner and clean all those little pieces of ash. So this was the first one. And me being me, I always want to up my game. I want to challenge. So I decided I want to make something a bit more aesthetically beautiful, but with another function. So I decided to make one of these splayed brushes. And this looks beautiful, but it was so tricky to make. It really was. To get in the needle and keep everything splayed and in a more balanced order was not easy. It did take me a fair few tries, but I'm really pleased with how it's come out, and it's beautiful, it's functional, and it's small, and it'll be able to get into our wood burner. So we also put some little hooks on the back, so these are hanging next to our wood burner, so these will be used in the winter. So if you would like to make some of these, it is such an easy craft to do. The only thing I would suggest, if you're in the northern hemisphere, collect your pine needles in the summer, towards the end of the summer, then you can dry them out quite easily and evenly, and they stay quite straight. So this is a really nice craft to do. Back in October, here in Brazil, there is a day for children in which people give extra presents to children, and it's not a holiday that we have in England. So I didn't really want to give more presents to my daughter in October when Christmas is so close. So I always try and give a handmade gift. So last year we'd gone back to England, and we went into this gorgeous little cafe, and it had this beautiful, big, colourful mural on the wall, and Pod absolutely loved it. So I suggested as a gift, would she like me to paint the hullabaloo mural in her room? Now Pod's room is similar to mine. She has this battening and then the big white wall. So I started this mural in October, and it took me a long time. I thought it would be a 2-day job, and I thought very wrong. But I finally finished it a few weeks ago, and I'll put in some videos now. And now Pod has this beautiful, colourful wall, which she really enjoys. And she goes in and says, "Mom, this reminds me of hullabaloo. I'm going back to England, and I have England in my room." So that was one of our gifts that we gave to Pod for her Children's Day, and also helping her learn that things are a process, and that if you want to do something, do it yourself. So here is the wall. Last year, I tried to finish all of the craft projects that I had been doing throughout the year before the year ended. And I managed quite a few. I did the jumper, I did the vest, I did Pod's wall. But there's still one which I've not finished. And I want to share it with you now and get your opinion, because I'm not quite sure whether to finish it now or to continue with my idea. Okay, a part of me, I like being sustainable. I don't like having too much. And last year I was given a gorgeous linen dress, but it was a few sizes too big. And I also happen to have another linen dress, which is virtually the same. So the dress I've been given was actually secondhand. So I asked my godmother, would you mind if I took it apart and made it into something else? And she was very kind, said, of course, I know you're going to do something beautiful, so do what you want. It was a gift It's your choice. So I took apart this dress and I've made it into like a farmhouse apron. And my idea for this apron was to be for my gardening. So it's just a basic apron with a gathered seam, so it looks like I have a ruffled skirt. And how is it not finished is that I like pockets, especially when I'm in the garden. I'm gardening, I want pockets so I can put things in. So this is the apron so far. But I wanted to do something a bit different. I didn't want an easy project. I wanted something that meant something, because when I make something, I want it to be filled with memories and I want it to last and something special. So I thought I'll do some embroidered pockets, thinking it would be quick, and it's not. So for all you embroiderers out there, I have a lot of appreciation for your work and how much time that goes into it. So to do the embroidery, I actually used a Year of Embroidery book by Yomiko, and I did I think Lily of the Valley. I wanted to do this pattern onto the pockets. So I thought it was really pretty. It's just 2 colors, it'd be quite easy. In theory it was easy, but it took a lot of time. So I've made one pocket. So here's my one pocket. I need to obviously sew it into size. So I'm really pleased with this. So my question is to you, do I do a second pocket the same, or do I just finish this project and do the other one a plain pocket? So I'm not sure. So what do you think? Leave me a comment below and tell me what you think, and let's see where this apron goes. So I'm hoping to finish this soon, but I'm 50-50 on what to do. So your opinion will be very greatly valued. So hopefully this will be another project that will be finished soon. For Christmas, I was extremely lucky. I was given some yarn from my husband for Christmas. And this is the yarn that he got for me. As you can see, we are combining well. You can almost not see against the background of my bedroom. And he got me 5 balls. Just wind this one back up because it's undone. He got me 5 balls of this Malabrigo Rio's yarn. I think this is Paris Midnight. And this is projected for another project, which will use some yarn that I had left over from my jumper. And one of the things about me is I don't like yarn hoarding. I'm sorry, I'm not one of those people. I find it very extremely stressful to have a lot of yarn around me. I like yarn to have a purpose and be used, and I don't like leftovers. I like the leftovers to be used into other projects, but that's just me. I wish I was like this in other areas of life. I'm not, but with yarn, for some reason, it stresses me out. So these 3 will be turned into another jumper, and luckily I have exactly the amount I need with a few grams left over for another jumper. And I'm going to do a second jumper by Isabel Kramer. I think it's a Hyannis one, and this will be made for winter, but not now. Now I have so many crochet projects planned for this year, so this yarn is actually going to go away for now until the future. So knitting will be put down for a little bit. Okay, my final project I want to share with you, and it is another knitting one. A few years ago I started a project on my own to make my own knitted socks, and I bought some gorgeous yarn from London, from Loops of London knitting shop, and I didn't actually use it, which made me feel guilty. So January came, I thought, I need to use this yarn. I need to use it. It's such beautiful yarn. So I have bought this book, Lane's 52 Weeks of Socks, and I haven't actually used it. which made me feel guilty. So I decided to start with sock 1, intersections. And I decided to use the gorgeous, it's just here. This is all the yarn I have left. The gorgeous yarn I had, and I made myself a new pair of socks. And here it is. And I managed to finish these, I think, last night or the night before. So these are my new socks. I made them too big, a little bit too big, but they will do for in the house, layered under other socks for the winter. And I'm really pleased with how they've come out. They have got a bit of nylon in, which is something I've never used before. So there was much more stretch in them than I expected, but the color is absolutely gorgeous. So that's what I've been doing. So this video has all been about all the crafts I have been finishing or trying to finish. But this year is going to be a big year for crochet. So hold with me, because next week I'm going to be sharing with you some of the crochet projects that are planned for 2024. And I am sure you're going to love it. So until then, I'm going to leave this video here and I'm going to bring it with a close and wish you a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.